Ashish, you want to read my wish?
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah. My wish. The lover has to keep the wish of the beloved. My wish for lovers is as follows. First, do not shrink your responsibilities. Second, attend faithfully to your worldly duties, but keep always at the back of your mind that all this is Baba's. Third, when you feel happy, think Baba wants me to be happy. When you suffer, think Baba wants me to suffer. Fourth, we resign to every situation and think honestly and sincerely Baba has placed me in this situation. Fifth, with the understanding that Baba is in everyone, try to help and serve others. Six, I say with my divine authority to each and all that whoever takes my name at the time of breathing, his last comes to me. So do not forget to remember me in your last moments. Unless you start remembering me from now on, it will be difficult to remember me when your end approaches. You should start practicing from now on. Even if you take my name only once every day, you will not forget to remember me in your dying moments.
Avtar Meher Baba ki jai. Thank
Aar
you.
Meher Baba.
Okay, so let's continue our journey with um, discourses. We are in the spirit and matter section. So we did travails of the new order, followed by life of the spirit. Before I continue, I interrupted you, Ashok. You were saying something about uh, the backbiting episode, or rather the challenge that Nomita gave. Yeah, you want to finish that
Well,
topic?
yes, yes. I was
No,
just
he's
going
talking
to.
about. I had a given ever talk in
I remember.
2020, right?
I remember.
In back meeting. Yeah.
Okay. Anything specific, or you just happened to see it again,
I just
Ashok?
happened to see it again, and then I saw Ravi, and that's it.
Oh,
Coincidence.
it's
Oh, thank you.
it's actually you should go back to these old videos. It's an amazing experience because we also I mean, at least for myself, I realized how much we have changed as well, right?
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
even all of
Yeah.
us on the way we have
Yeah.
learned and the way we are discussing, and the way we were tentative before, and now we are a lot more confident at going after each other. So,
But
This. Hmm.
Karthik,
Go
I
ahead.
just want to stress that it's a very good lesson we've learned in that is that we can just avoid building upon sanskaras and not do backbiting. I mean, it's a very good thing which I got early morning. So thanks to this session, thanks to this group.
What about corporate backbiting?
Nothing. Don't do any
same
backbiting.
thing. Yes, yes, same thing applies,
I
Ash.
can, yeah, means like absolutely, absolutely. Means like let's take one of the example. Like suppose you are working with some of the vendors and they are not doing well, and you are telling about this to someone else. This is again the backbiting, right? Even though
Yeah.
it's
The test
Anything
is
you're
whether it is
talking.
feedback or
Anything.
whether it is backbiting. So, if it is feedback that is required to improve the quality of that vendor, make the vendor selection criteria set up, make remove somebody from being a vendor. If that is the reasons for discussing that feedback, and it's a formal
Mhm.
discussion where you are providing that feedback to them, that's fine, because obviously that can't be done with the vendor in mind. I mean, with the vendor being part of that discussion. But anything else is actually backbiting. Others, do you want to say anything?
Yeah. I just want to say, uh, before we talk anything about behind, when the other person is not present, whether it is corporate or a person, what is the end result? We have to think about it. The end result is I expressed my satisfaction. I am good, and the other people are bad, and that gives me satisfaction. If other people agree, then it's bad for us. we create all these binding sanskaras because we have to pay for that. So
Yeah. So
if it is,
it's a play
as
of ego.
Karthik said,
Sorry. Go ahead.
as Karthik said, if it is constructive thing, then it's okay. If you are going for some end result other than your own satisfaction, that's good. But everything we always give it away to Baba and trust everything to Baba. But backbiting, we do it so casually, it's creeping on us very badly in a negative way. So, yeah, that's about it. Jai Baba.
So, Karthik, I agree with what you said. And if the constructive feedback is to improve uh, the other stakeholder and create value in the larger sense of the action, then I think it's not backbiting, but it's a feedback which is a
Mhm.
loop of action in the control or improvement. So I think that way it is okay.
Mhm.
This is my personal feeling. If somebody feels that I am has other views, please come out. But in the corporate world or even in personal world, if you're doing it for uh, you know one to improve, and it can be done one to one without embarrassing the person, if it's done alone and without uh, doing it in a crowd or a group, then the purpose is just to improve that other person, is what I feel.
Yeah. Mhm. Good point. Not a bad idea to revisit that backbiting talk again,
Yes,
Sure.
it's
Karthik,
two zero two
because
one 2021 D20, and then there is a follow up on D21. If you can just go back and see, it's in the Baba Awakens.
yeah, I
And
don't mind giving a fresh
oh,
direct talk.
oh, that's good.
um,
And
that way, because we don't do any commit murders or anything that binds us, but we
Mhm.
do this backbiting so easily. It happens so easily, casually in our life. It can hurt us.
Let's do that.
Small things like this.
I, I
Yeah.
I'll pick a time maybe next weekend or the weekend after next. We'll do
Yeah.
a session on backbiting.
Mm.
Um, uh, Ashish, does that kind of answer your question? I know we have been talking a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
more
definitely,
than.
definitely, definitely. Means it happens in the corporate world. Sometimes, oh, I don't know what to go with that vendor or that leadership because they don't do well, right? It's sometimes casually also we talk with some friends or
Yeah.
with our colleagues or sometimes. That's why I just
Yeah.
raise this point. Nothing else.
Yeah,
one
especially it
suggestion.
happens with those people who are very bad behaviorally bad to all of us. We easily talk about them. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Correct, correct. Okay.
Karthik,
So
one suggestion. We should, in that talk on gossiping and backbiting, we should try and invite Nomita also, because she took some effort in that as well.
yeah, sure. I'm surprised why she's not there today, yesterday and today. It's okay. We will make sure that she's there on that session. Yeah. Okay. So let's go and start with avenues to understanding. So we did Life of the Spirit, if you remember the last time. So what is avenues to understanding? So again, this is in the spirit and matter section or the spirit and matter theme. So let's just read the essence of the chapter and see what to expect here. The headings are spirit not understood through mind. So mind has limitations. It cannot understand the entire scope and impact of spirit. Concepts of mind toward matter inadequate for spirit. Conflict between mind and heart. Mind craves assurance or conviction. Intellectual conviction hinders spontaneous love. Spirit is glimpsed only through heart. Freedom from wants possible only in supramental existence. Conditions for harmony between mind and heart. Heart must be free to determine ends of life. Harmony of mind and heart implies cooperative functioning. So the focus is between the role of the heart, the conflict between spirit and matter, as understood between the conflict between mind and heart. So that seems to be the focus of this chapter. Let's dive right in and see what we can learn. Yeah. So who wants to read? Maybe I'll read for some time. And,
Yeah.
and then
Or I
Ash-
can continue. Mhm.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, you can read, no problem. 1 second. Yeah,
The
go ahead.
avenues to understanding. Spirit not understood through mind. The different avenues that lead to spiritual understanding can be understood based through an initial distinction between spirit and matter. In order to understand matter, we have material means, and in order to understand the spirit, we have spiritual means. Matter is understood through the mind or the intellect working upon data given through the different senses. But spirit can be understood only through the spirit itself, the highest form of understanding, in which the spirit enjoys self knowledge without using any instrument or medium, is very rare and most difficult to attain. The best approach for the understanding of the spirit is through the heart and not through the mind. The mind is accustomed.
Okay. Let's hold on for a second.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me ask a question to all.
Sure.
What is a matter?
Good question. Um,
Because without understanding that, we cannot proceed. Spirit, we understand, right? It's God. What
i-
is matter?
is spirit God?
Yeah, spirit, God.
No, I think there's a little bit of a distinction, right? Um,
Let's start with matter.
with
What is
matter.
matter?
Let's start with matter. So matter,
Mhm.
I think, is the grossest expression of the gross expression of our individuality, right? So that's matter. So, and that's from an individual standpoint, but literally everything in the creative universe is matter.
Okay. Yeah, that is what I understood. I mean, basically, I'm
Anybody
a
else?
body, right? Yeah, I'm a body, right?
Correct?
So is nothing but five panchabhutas. I am nothing but a combination of
Five
panchikarana
elements.
of the panchabhutas. It's all matter. Chair is a matter, table is a matter, computer is a matter, everything is a matter. Even in Vedanta, even thinking, mind is also a matter.
Know that.
Mind is
Interesting.
also matter. So I think you are right, Karthik. The whole thing that is in this worldly uh, world of creation is all matter, nothing but matter. Now we understood that. What do you think is the spirit?
Spirit, yeah. So spirit is nothing but the the aspect of the unmanifested self, both smallest and then eventually biggest, which uh, which is existing and goes through the journey of of our life
Yeah,
across
unconscious
across
part.
across multiple births, across evolution, across the whole
Yeah,
divine team, across the
yeah.
divine team.
So in a simple way, I mean, you said it right. In a simple way, what exists in this world is nothing but God. There's the only existence. All others is illusion, imagination. We exist. World of creation exists in the world of reality, which doesn't have limits. That reality is the spirit. That makes sense?
Is that so? Is that reality the spirit? So is spirit God?
Spirit God, yeah. You call it God, existence, infinite intelligence. That's all spirit. Other than spirit is matter. We think we are not God, right? We think we are not spirit. We are matter.
Yeah, at that level, yeah, correct. So if there is a distinction where you're saying that there is spirit and matter,
Yeah.
then obviously spirit represents God at that
Yeah.
level. But is there
Yeah.
a definition Baba makes anywhere of the mm, idea of spirit? And again, the idea of spirit is different in different cultures, right? So if you go to the Christian or Abrahamic culture, there is the Trinity, God, Spirit, and no. What's the other one? Father, Son.
Father, Son, and Spirit.
Yeah, Father, Son, and the Spirit.
Father is
And
the Paratpara Parabrahma.
correct,
Son is the avatar.
the
Spirit is
perfect
you and I.
master. Correct.
Huh? Holy Spirit. That's Holy Spirit.
Yeah, or
Holy Spirit.
also called ghost, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever you
Yeah,
call it.
yeah.
Ghost. So that's we, you and I.
Correct.
Father, Paratpara Parabrahma. No. Sorry, not Paratpara Parabrahma. Paramatma.
Paramatma.
Yeah. Second state. Second state. Beyond state of God is Father. Allah, Narayana. That is beyond state of God. And Son is avatar, perfect master, Son. And Holy Spirit is the all that the Jiva exists in Maya.
Individualized aspect. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But here, Baba meant here spirit is spirituality. Because here, he says here, spirit can be understood with the spiritual knowledge, self-knowledge, right? What did he say here? Matter is understood through the mind or in the intellect, working upon data given through the different senses. But spirit can be understood only through the spirit itself,
Yeah.
which can be obtained from the self-knowledge. Self-knowledge. Yeah.
Ashok and Ashish. No response, no
Yes.
comments from you guys. Are you okay?
No, for me this is like the matter. This is the first time I am understanding whatever the Ravi is telling, and this is the good one. Spirit, I was able to relate little bit. Yeah, spirit definitely for the spirituality and God, but matter is nothing but an entity. This was something new for me. Any entity is the matter. That's what Ravi explained, right? So
Yeah. Is
So,
there in Bhagavad?
Karthik, I just
It is,
want to sort of refer to chart 7 in the God Speaks. Okay, that is
Okay.
something which remains in my mind, and it says that illusion and reality. So, the material part or the materialism or the matter is basically a movie, or it is illusion, and reality is basically, you know, men God are God man. If you look at that, I think that sort of stays in my mind. So maybe it's like a Venn diagram, and there are two different worlds. I think that's what. Um,
So can you explain with the context of 7? I have it on the screen.
with the context of spirit, right?
No. In the context of 7, can you help define matter and spirit?
With the context of 7.
Chart
Sorry.
7, you said. I have chart 7
Ah,
shared
yeah,
on the screen.
within the context of chart 7. So basically, there are two different separate worlds. If you can see
Uh-huh.
there, I mean,
Okay.
as an illusion is nothing but a movie where we
Okay.
pass, we
Independent of reality.
independent of reality, and where we are sort of consumed, absorbed, or whatever, fascinated by that, but it keeps us away from reality.
Okay.
That is what I am
no,
trying to say.
So which is matter,
no,
which is spirit?
To my mind, illusion would be matter, and reality is spirit.
yeah. There, can I get in here?
Yeah, sure.
They are not independent. We have to understand this illusion or the world of creation exists only in the reality, because reality is the only one that existence infinite existence.
Correct.
We
Good distinction.
we exist in creation and we exist in the reality.
Reality. It's
Yeah.
just
A
the no,
subset of, not subset, what do you call that? Yeah, subset, not subset, right?
reality is a superset of illusion
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
and not independent.
And
Not
So
independent.
not
I
independent.
would,
That's a good
I would,
distinction.
yeah, it's not
Sanjay ji,
independent.
we are debating the definitions for matter and spirit. So if I think you came in a little late. So if you're wondering what
Yeah,
we
yeah.
did, we are just
Yes, yes.
debating the definitions for matter and spirit.
Yeah,
Uh, Karthik, also, would the analogy of the shadow, I mean, basically, it comes from that chapter on Maya, where it's you are the person and there is a shadow which is following you. So, but both are from the same. I mean, it's just the light falling on the person, on the soul, but you have a shadow. So, I mean,
Mhm.
illusion and reality could be sort of, as you said, it's in the it's a subset of the superset of reality, but there is a subtle difference there, right? A shadow is a shadow, and a person is a person.
Yeah.
Yeah, a shadow is a good way of looking at it, but then a shadow should not analogously make us think that matter is supreme because the shadow is shadow the spirit, just to clarify.
No, shadow is illusion, material.
No, no. So if shadow is the spirit, if you look at it in the real world, the scientific world, shadow is dependent on the matter, right? So if matter moves the hand, shadow moves the hand, right? So
No, yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's not analogously correct in the idea of the matter and spirit. That's why that's the
Right.
warning I wanted to give you, Ashok.
Yeah. I mean, what I'm trying to say is that um, that there is a world of illusion, and which is that shadow is also uh, coming from matter, and it's illusory. But reality is permanent. It
Yeah.
is. Uh, I
Good,
mean,
good
I'm just
point,
trying.
Ashok. Yeah.
I'm just see. It's a very subtle difference. What I'm trying to bring it out here, but yes, let not to confuse. If I have confused, my apologies. But
No,
it's
no,
just
no problem. I think you brought in a very good point. The truth that exists is permanent. The false that exists is temporary.
yes,
That
that is
keeps changing. Astita stita, stita means truth. That is that which is never changes. And that is God's state. That is spirit.
yes.
That state which changes constantly is astita. That is material, matter. Matter always changes. We always see the change with the time.
And if you see in the chart 7, it says everything. Everything is super circle, and within everything is
Right.
illusion and reality. So, and thanks Ravi for bringing it out. And
Jai Baba.
you know,
Jay
yeah,
Baba, the reason I brought it out is because the very chapter started out with matter and spirit. That's what we
Good,
need to have
good.
a clear understanding before we proceed.
Good,
yeah,
and I think one of the takeaways for me is I'm not very sure, but I think in infinite intelligence there is an attempt to define these two terms. Let me go back and see if I find it. Everybody is also free to do that, and I think if we can do that before next Sunday, let's share that. Is there a Baba definition for these two terms? It's a good exercise that we should indulge in.
Oh, absolutely. There is. Yeah.
you're
Yeah,
talking about spirit and matter. Yes, we'll
correct,
look at we'll look it up.
correct. And I will remember to start with that when we meet next week. Okay.
You're a you're a tough taskmaster.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Okay. Ashish, para two.
Yeah, yes, I will continue.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, concepts of mind toward matter inadequate for spirit. The mind is accustomed to work upon material things, and its driving power for this intellectual understanding of material objects is derived from lust and carvings. When mind is
Cravings.
turned towards,
Sorry,
sorry,
lust and
cravings. Yeah,
cravings.
lust and cravings. Yeah. When mind is turned toward spiritual problems, it tackles them along lines it is accustomed to, and in so doing, mind uses concepts it has invented for the intellectual understanding of material things. However, this approach to understanding spiritual problems is doomed to fail because of concept that the intellect evolves for knowledge of material things are inadequate for understanding the spirit. It is like trying to see through the ears or hear with the eyes. If the mind tries to understand the spirit independently of the heart, it is bound to use analogues from the material world, and this inevitably leads to the spirit being looked upon as an object of the mind, which is not. Conflict between mind
See,
and heart. Yeah.
So
see,
let's just
that's
pause
that.
there. Let's just pause
Yeah.
there. I think what is being said in this second para is very clearly that uh, our reference points and all the knowledge that we have got from analysis assessment of the material world is inadequate for understanding the spirit, right? So that's the point that's being made. It is so powerful that, I mean, the this is a very important line, right? So Baba says it is like seeing through
Mm,
the
yeah.
ears or hear with the eyes. So that's how ineffective it is if you use a material construct to understand spirituality. And unfortunately, that's where we start. So once we start, our mind is so accustomed to processing everything with what we know. We operate with the fundamental principle of known to the unknown. So the only known for us before we get into involution is material world. I know science, I know the three laws of matter, I know math, I know all of that, right? So I use those principles and I fail miserably because they are very limiting when it comes to the world of spirituality, right? That's the point that's being made.
Yeah.
See, a lot of
So
these
most,
atheists, atheists, they don't believe in God because they try to use their mind to analyze it. And all these rituals and all do not make sense. That's why they say, hey, there's no God.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
we when before we are into Baba, we were only using mind and intellect. That's it. No heart, right? We use heart for our own. The end point is what is there in it for me. I love my wife. What is there in it for me? I love my child. There's something there for me in it. I love mango. These are all these strings are connected with that. Only after started loving Baba, that is where we started finding the importance of the divine love. And Baba gave so much of emphasis on the divine love. When we go to the temples or when we go to any pravachanams, nobody talks about love. They talk about all these
Ritual.
details. Yeah.
actually, even in the like Himalaya, many sadhus are there, right? From many years, they are also away from all the materialistic thing. But because of this divine love, might be they are still not getting what they wanted, probably.
Possible. Yes. So
Yeah.
it depends. Very few people move to the realm of love as the way to get to God.
Yeah.
See, even because of Baba gave us the ability to love him, now we know what is love. A lot of people know about Baba, but they don't love him. That's the problem. And we are also not great. It's because Baba gave us the ability to love him, we are loving him. We should never say, hey, I'm loving Baba, with as though we have achieved something. Is the
Ego.
Baba who is the ego? Is
Yeah.
the Baba who gave us that prasad of loving him when the avatar descended here in those times. That's why we are very fortunate on that.
Maybe I wanted to
Just
understand more on this love part, right? Love. So
So,
we pray Baba and we love Baba also, right? So the
Yeah,
difference
love,
might be. Hmm.
very
yeah, you
simple.
finish your question. You finish your
Yeah,
question, Ashish.
Yeah, means that's all mostly means like we are
yeah,
loving
yeah.
Baba means as Baba
But
said we love to
remember,
many. Mhm.
yeah, understood. But remember, Baba said the night before, the next day, Baba was going to leave his body. The night before, he called the watchman, Bauji, Bavakalchuri. He was doing the night watchman. He called him 3 times to his room throughout the night. And each time he said, Yadrak, this, I am not this body. This is just a coat I'm wearing. 3 times. And there's a lot to understand from that. So we love Baba. That's the first thing because we are not that capable of loving the illusion. But ultimately, we have to see that love in every person, in every entity, in every corporate world, That is what we have to see. Then we are seeing God in reality. In Listen Humanity, I do not know, Karthik, whether we read Listen Humanity at all
Yes, we
in
read.
this. We read? See, in that, Baba said, in the first part, there are 3 parts, right, in Listen Humanity.
Yeah.
In the first part, where Don Stevens, his experiences of all these 4 language people coming and
Sahwas.
spending sahwas with Baba, he writes about Baba. And at one time in the Mandli Hall, Baba says, I'm ready to give the liberation or God realization. I don't remember exactly what he said. At any moment, only thing is you have to be ready for that. If you are ready now, I can give you now the liberation. So it's all ball is in our court. That's what we have to see. And another thing is, Baba said, love is very, very powerful. How do we understand? Simply just try to love him wholeheartedly. Spontaneously, we just love him. More we try on that, focus on that, we can, with our mind, we can do anything. We can do anything, however way you train, that is what you're going to get it. What you are now is what you have trained yourself in the past. What you're training now is what you will be in the future. What aspects are you playing basketball, practicing that, or are you doing backbiting, or are you focusing on loving Baba? That is what matters for us, what we will be in the future. Just stringless love, that is divine love. That's what we need to focus on. Jai Baba.
Yeah, Baba.
the, Ashish, we can refer to a full chapter on love in Discourses. And one of the subtitles is that love pervades universe, and pure love awakened through grace. So you need to have, as Ravi said, the grace of the perfect master for having pure or divine love. And divine love, and on a spectrum where physical love is just the beginning, divine love is the end. If you put it into a sort of a spectrum of, or on a scale, so divine love is the ultimate or the
Yeah.
greatest, highest form of love.
And definitely we need the means whoever wanted to go up to that level, definitely we need the grace of the God. Without grace, I don't think it will be too easy. Uh, right? It's like
It's not
Ashish,
possible.
we
it's
already
not.
have grace. The moment
Hmm.
we started loving Baba, we already have received some grace. Now it's up to us to walk with that. He puts a seed in our heart. And then Baba said, and then he leaves us. It's up to us to walk in that highway to reach the goal. How fast you walk, how efficiently you walk, you have to use your intellect, mind, whatever you, heart, whatever you do. That's up to us.
Yeah, so the chapter on love, when we get to it, Ashish, is amazing in Discourses, and then like Ashok said, it's a progression. and then its counterpart is selfishness. So if you see the tower, I mean the lane of love, there
Yeah,
is
yeah.
selfishness, love, conditions of happiness. There are two parts of that, and then you finally go to the divine love aspect, which is God as infinite love. So it's a good set of chapters. We'll get to it when we
Yeah,
start
yeah.
with love.
And
Yeah,
in
we
Listen
can continue.
Humanity, there's one chapter. There's in Listen
Yes,
Humanity,
love. Yes, yeah.
there's one chapter about love. Very, very powerful.
Divine
That
love, I
chapter.
think. Yeah.
We should read that. I mean, I would prefer to read it every day so that there's a prayer.
Yeah.
How what Baba explained about love is
So,
online. The book is online, and you can get it. And
yes.
yeah,
Yeah, Ravi, it's in the part 2, chapter 8, love and God.
yeah, yes, yes, yes. It's so powerful. That
Super.
is so
Thanks. Sure.
powerful. Yeah.
Okay. Conflict between mind and heart. Ashish.
Yes, conflict between mind and heart, as contrasted with the method of mind, which has its foundation in sensations and proceeds through inference and proofs to conclusion. There is more direct method of the heart. The heart intuitively grasps the values that are progressively realized in the life of an individual as he goes through the diverse experiences of the world. At, and as his attention is centered on arriving at spiritual understanding. In the life of most persons, the mind and heart are at loggerheads, and the conflict between the two creates confusion. The heart, which in its which in its own way feels the unity of life, wants to fulfill itself through a life of love, sacrifice, and service. It is keen about giving instead of taking. It derives its driving power from the inmost spiritual urge expressing itself through the immediate intuitions of the inner life. It does not care about the proofs or intellectual corroborations that the mind seeks while dealing with material objects. In its objective handling of the material world, mind is saturated with experiences of multiplicity and separateness, and therefore fits the egocentric tendencies that divide humanity and make it selfish and possessive. But the heart feelings in the inner experiences, the glow of love, has glimpses of the unity of the spirit and thus seeks expression through self-giving tendencies that unite humanity and make it selfless and generous. Therefore, there is necessarily a conflict between the inner voice and deliverances of the intellect, which are based upon the apparent and superficial aspects of life.
Yeah. Super. Any thought?
Yeah, one thought comes to my mind, and that is that this advent of Baba, the prime message is that of love. So I think that we should, there's just a, I mean, underlying thought which comes that he has, uh, you know, emphasized on the message of love. Jai Baba.
Sure.
Mind craves assurance or conviction. When the mind encroaches upon the province of the heart, it does so by requiring assurance or conviction as a precedent condition that must be fulfilled before there is a release of love. But love is nothing if it is not spontaneous. It cannot be a conclusion of reasoning. It is not a fruit of the spirit of bargaining. If you want to be certain about the object of love before giving your love, it is only form of calculating selfishness. Many persons, for example, want to be convinced of my divinity in order to be able to love me. That is to say, they want me to give them objective proof of my spiritual status by performing miracles. Conviction of this type is often hindrance rather than a help in realizing the highest form of love, which is utterly indifferent to what it might receive from the object of love.
So the last
Until
line, just read it again. Conviction of this type is often a hindrance rather than a help
other than
in releasing the highest form of love. So conviction of this type, he's saying the miracles type. So where I look at a perfect master or God and test him on the lens of how many miracles he has done. So if he has done miracles, then I believe in him. So that kind of conviction is only a hindrance and not a help in releasing the highest form of love. So that's the point that's being sought to be made.
might be sometime miracle happens, but is it okay to share those miracles? Otherwise, it will show the different face of Baba, right? People may think about something differently. So is it really good to explain this kind of your experiences to other outside the people?
I think there is nothing to stop that, but I'll tell you what Baba has said about miracles, which I keep remembering. And we have to understand what is a miracle first. What is a miracle according to you? Let's define miracle.
Miracle is something like which I was not expecting to be happen, but it happens, right?
No, that's not. That's just surprise. What is miracle? Something that you
Miracle means
didn't
it's
expect
What
happen.
we feel
Miracle is
against
impossible.
against the law of
laws of
nature,
science.
actually.
Correct. Anything that is not understood or comprehended or uh, normally observed in creative
What
universe.
we feel is impossible. Something like that.
Yeah, Shiva, repeat. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, sorry, I had a momentary signal drop. So, anything we feel, it is impossible in our capacity or in our
Correct.
ability.
Correct.
So,
Something
yeah,
that we
something
have.
beyond our, yeah.
Yes. So that is a miracle. Now, the reason I asked for that definition is anything that we Baba says, even saying Jesus did miracles is to limit his capacity, is to limit his potential, because you're basically saying he's a fourth planer doing miracles, because Baba says the role of the avatar is to run the whole of the universe. He can do anything he wants, right? And what is a mere low miracle like raising the dead or getting rid of disease? So he says that is so low. But unfortunately, our mind, our mind operates on the principle that only when there is, we will give conviction when there is miracle, right? So in that sense, if you are not motivated by miracles and you don't feel like sharing them, it already says that you're moved away from that kind of conviction, which is a good sign spiritually. But to your pointed question on whether you should share or not, there's no harm in sharing. But what you're doing is you're only pandering to the mind, because the mind is looking for such evidences, and minds of the others who are listening to you, they are also looking for such stories. And the reason is they want to use that to create conviction about Baba. So it's a very weak point. Good question.
When I first came to this country, people, I used to be very enthusiastic about telling about Meher Baba and to all these Christians, and they have a belief Christ did all these miracles. So did the questions they used to ask me is, did Meher Baba did any miracles? And I used to look for what are the miracles he did. I can explain to these people. That's what I was looking for. But Baba never encouraged us to talk about miracles. He never encouraged to do any miracles. It's only is the people's belief in Baba and his Nama that caused the miracles. But that doesn't mean, but main Baba, what Baba wants us to do is to give the word of Meher Baba to other people and talk about his love. That is the most important. By miracle, by telling about miracles, what they become curious, right? If you tell something very surprising miracle to somebody, they are curious. Curiosity doesn't take them anywhere. Once they know that that's it, they're going to go live with their life. But taking Baba's name to them is our job. Then it is Baba's job whether he is going to make him a lover or not. So that's why I don't, nowadays, I don't go extra length to talk about Baba. But whenever there is a chance, I tell about Baba's name, and that's about it. If they come back to me interested about Meher Baba, I will tell everything, whatever they want to know.
As much. Perfect. I think that's a good
Yeah.
approach. I think all of us go through various phases where we talk more, talk less, whatever. But just to convey again what Avatar has done, the Avatar has clearly said this in this Advent. I think Ashish, there's a lot of noise on your mic. In this Avatar, I mean the in this Advent, Baba has very clearly said that do not do any miracles. Ravi said, miracles are because of the faith and conviction and the repetition of my name or the power of love of my lover. But there is a secret there. There is obviously Baba is doing everything. So when you hear of these many stories and the experiences that even people on this call have had, they can clearly be classified in the category of miracle if you look at it from the creative universe. But Baba has defined that I don't do it, and the logic is he does not want to be seen as a charlatan, as a magician, as somebody who's just capable of doing miracles. He's much more than that. That focus. Now the best example for that is what Ravi faced when he talked to Catholics in US. The first thing they ask is, what miracles did they do? So Baba doesn't want to be classified like that. So that's the whole context, the way I understand Baba's messaging and the role of miracles in Advents and Perfect Masters. Ashish, you can continue. Shiva, yeah, go ahead. You want to say
Sorry,
something?
Kanti. I just wanted to add one point. I still remember one video in which I think it was near Mehrazad Hill, where Baba sits and gives an interview. So he's asked, "What miracles have you done?" And at that time, he responds, Baba responds, like, "Okay, I have created the whole universe. What more miracle or proof do you need?" Something
Exactly.
like that.
So he is very careful. So he's very careful to deflect anything that is in the realm of miraculous experiences away from him. So of course,
And
or
that
broaden
sets
the
up
scope to
limitation. Correct, correct.
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes. He's very careful right through the messaging, right through his advent on the messaging of miracles. Yeah, Ashish, go ahead.
So one more point.
Yeah, please, Sanjay.
I think we should treat ourselves very lucky that we have come to Baba just out of love, because as the time passes, people will come to him what he can give, what he
Yes.
can what you can achieve by visiting Meher Baba, or what miracles Baba did to their life. Yeah, so in that sense, we are very lucky. Jai Baba.
Well, I think the number of such people may not be as high as in the other advents because, again, he's categorical, right? He used to say, don't come to me with material demands. Don't come to me with requests because I'm not going to give it to you.
Yeah,
Now
but
that's a very extreme position
as
to
he
take.
manifests, it
Yeah.
will happen after
Yes. Yes.
300, 400, 500 years. This would
Yes.
happen, and Mehrabad will become the center of all spiritual activity in the world. That's what Baba has said.
Correct.
But we have come in his contact in a period that the season of pure love is still there. As we heard that talk. Yeah, Jai Baba.
I wanted to share one of my experience on this one. So one of my friend was asking me like, why you follow Mer Baba, or why you are like I have my locket, Baba locket, sometimes Baba book or whatever. He asked me like, why you follow Baba? Then I was just trying to tell him like, oh, Baba given these messages, love people, love God, whatever. So he said, what you received from the Baba? Means what's your gain? I said nothing. I said like I don't have that much for the materialistic thing. Maybe whatever I got, that is from the Baba only. That is the only thing. But I just try to get whatever I can through love and all. Then he said, "Oh, but I don't see any drop of love inside you or inside your eyes." Then that statement, hurts me. Not other things, but when he said like that, "Oh, I don't see any drop in your in you or in your eyes," something like that. That means how you behave. Like maybe that is one
Perfect.
of the point, right? The people might go to Baba the way you how you treat to people or how you talk to people, how you interact with everyone with love. So that is one of the thing I just wanted to share. That's very important, I
Super,
feel.
super, super honest sharing. And I think the takeaway for all of us is yes, we are in the season of love. Yes, we are these few lucky ones. Yes, we are earlier than millions and billions. But then with that comes tremendous responsibility, the tremendous responsibility to represent Baba in the deserving way. So our behavior, our interaction with the world, our selflessness, our love to others should be an example for him to come. I keep remembering this. I want to be asked, who's your master based on your behavior, based on my behavior. I want to be asked, hey, why do you behave the way you do? Why are you so nice? Why are you doing what you did? And I want to be able to say, hey, that's because my master is Meher Baba. That's the level of uh, uh, maturity or the expected behavior for these early lovers that we all are.
Can I suggest something to
Yeah, Ravi.
Ashish?
Yeah, of
Ashish,
course.
my friend, if somebody tells you, hey Ashish, I know you love Baba. I don't see anything your any expression of love towards Baba. If somebody says that, what would you say to them? How would you react to that? First of all, not at all angry. Don't get upset for such things. You're married, right, Ashish?
Yeah, I have two kids.
You have two kids. You love your wife, right?
Definitely, yes. Whole
Okay.
family. Yeah.
Well, there's a question mark. Yeah, are you sure? No, that's okay. Now, when you come to work, let's say you and I are working, hey, Ashish, you are working good, but I don't see any love for your wife. What would you say to that? See,
I
loving
said I don't
something,
I don't show off or I don't show that my love everywhere, right? So
yeah, you don't put your wife picture there and keep kissing it and all that stuff. Some people do, young lovers do, but just like that, loving Baba is our own business. It happens in our heart. It doesn't, if somebody asks you, hey, you don't seem to be loving Baba, that is a foolish, dumb question. And you don't need to react for that dumb question. Don't get hurt. All you need to do is ignore or tell him, hey, you can't, just like how I'm asking you, do you love your wife? How come you're not showing any love for your wife? Something like that. Or just simply, love cannot be, expressed. That's what I would say. And can I say
I'm
one more
reminded.
thing?
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. See, we don't have to wear a kashaya vastram. We become like a sannyasi and put all these bottus, namas, all the tilaks and everything, and show off. Hey, I'm a Baba lover. Hey, I'm a Baba lover. Not at all. All we have to do is dress normally, be simple life, keep a simple life, be honest, be loving to Baba. To anybody, try to be helpful in a simple way. You don't have to give $1 million to anybody, not necessary. If anybody needs it, we can, extend our thing. You can live it a normal life. That is sufficient. that love for Baba, he will take you as long as you're honest, truthful, and you follow whatever rules he tells you to do, simple things. It's very simple. We don't have to show off or show Baba, show anybody that, hey, I'm a Baba lover or anything. Be as simple as possible. That's what I just want to say. Jai Baba.
Okay, so please continue, Ashish. We have been pretty slow on the reading progress. I know I don't focus on that, but we've been unusually slow, but unusually full of discussion and interaction. So
No, this
no
is
no
what is more
complaints.
important, Karthik. It's
True,
not
true,
the
true,
time.
true, true.
Time is not important. How fast we read the books. If you don't
Yes, that
retain and
hardly
if you
matters.
don't evolve, what good it is.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Ashish.
Intellectual conviction hinders spontaneous love. When the mind seeks conviction or corroboration in the bracket through objective proofs and miracles as an aid to spiritual understanding, it is encroaching upon the sphere that properly belongs to the heart. Conviction and corroboration become important when a person desires guarantees for securing certain definite and tangible results in the objective world. Even if we suppose that a person is intellectually convinced of the existence of God by means of miracle or some such objective data, this will not necessarily release his heart. This elegance he might perhaps give to God as a result of such a cold revelation will be either through fear or through a sense of duty. Love in which there is no sense of restraint cannot be born of a conviction that is based upon things accessible to the mind. And where there is no love, there is no bliss or beauty of being. In fact, God's nature as the ocean of love cannot be grasped by the mind. God has to be known through love and not through an intellectual search for miracles. This is the reason, that is the reason why I do not perform miracles for those who are closest and dearest to me. I would rather have no following than use miracles for convincing others for my divinity. It is true that while loving me, people often do have spiritual experiences that were hitherto unknown to them, and these experiences help them in the further opening of their hearts. But they are not meant to feed the mental craving for intellectual conviction, and they should not be regarded as the goal. Spirit glimpsed only through heart. When a person has his eye on the result of actions instead of being concerned solely with their intrinsic work, he is trying to tackle spiritual problems through the mind alone, and in doing so, is interfering with the proper functioning of the heart. Mind wants to have all kinds of things, and therefore seeks objective proofs, conviction, and assurances. This demand of the mind fetters the spontaneous outflow of love, which at once depends upon and furthers true spirituality. You cannot love through the intellect. What you may get through the mind is a theory of love, but not love itself. The kind of knowledge that certain types of yogis have attained attained through their minds is merely intellectual and dry. It cannot give them the spiritual bliss that characterizes the life of love. Love and happiness are the only important thing in life, and they are both absent in the dry and factual knowledge accessible to the intellect. Spirituality does not consist in intellectual knowledge of true values, but in their realization. It is this knowledge of inner realization that is worthy of being called spiritual understanding, and this is far more dependent upon the heart than on the mind. Knowledge of the intellect alone is on the same footing as mere information, and being superficial, it moves on the surface of life. It gives the shadow and not the substance of reality. The hidden depth of the ocean of life can be gauged only by sounding the heart. Freedom from wants possible only in supramental existence. The intellect of most persons in harnessed by innumerable wants. From the spiritual point of view, such a life is the lowest type of human existence. The highest type of human existence is free from all wants and is characterized by sufficiency or contentment, contentment
Contentment, yeah.
contentment. Everyone is seeking happiness, but few have it. For lasting happiness dawns only when there is complete freedom from wants. This highest state of non-wanting may outwardly seems to imply inaction and to be easy to attain. However, if anyone tries to sit quietly without inwardly wanting anything and with full consciousness, that is without going to sleep, in bracket, that is without going to sleep, he will realize that such a state of non-wanting is very difficult to attain and that it can be sustained only through tremendous spiritual activity. In fact, complete non-wanting is unattainable as long as life is mind ridden. It is possible only in supramental existence. One has to go beyond the mind to experience the spiritual bliss of desirelessness. Between the two extremes of a life harassed by wants and a life completely free from wants, it is possibly to arrive at a mode of practical life in which there is a harmony between mind and the heart. This is about the conditions for harmony between mind and heart. When there is a such harmony, the mind does not dictate the ends of life, but only helps to realize those ends that are given by the heart. It does not lay down any conditions to be fulfilled before an utterance of the heart is adopted for translation into practical life. In other words, the mind surrenders its role of judge, which it is accustomed to play in its intellectual queries concerning the nature of the universe, and accept unquestioningly the dictates of the heart. Heart
So
must be
when you, yeah, yeah, before you continue, so when you continue, where you give in to the supremacy of the heart is where you can actually start experiencing the harmony, right? That's the point that is being made here. The mind should surrender its role of judge. We are constantly judging. We are constantly using tools like logic to assess the nature of the universe: good, bad, smart, dumb, highs, low, everything. It's basically judgment. And when you given to that and given to the supremacy of the heart, then you start moving up in the spiritual path. That's the point. Yeah, go ahead, Ashish. Yeah, Ashok, you were saying something?
Yeah, I was just saying that if you link it up to the seven realities, so basically it is a real love, which is just pure and divine love. Could we just link that to that, or maybe a real surrender where you have done a complete surrender and not beyond the realms of any mental judgment or any sort of uh, judgment. It's beyond mind, and and it's complete surrender, the only real surrender, where where you have equipoise or poise or whatever, and you go beyond that and just accept Baba as he is.
Yeah, correct. There's a correlation with many other messages.
And yes,
Okay.
give up.
Ha- Heart must be free to determine ends of life. The mind is the treasure house of learning, but heart is the treasure house of spiritual wisdom. The so called conflict between religion and science arises only when there is no appreciation of the relative importance of these two types of knowledge. It is futile to try glean knowledge of true values by exercise of the mind alone. Mind cannot tell you which things are worth having. It can only tell you how to achieve the ends accepted from intellectual sources. In most persons, the mind accepts ends from the prompting of wants, but this means denial of the life of the spirit. Only when the mind accepts its ends and values from the deepest promptings of the heart does it contribute to the life of the spirit. Thus, mind has to work in cooperation with the heart. Factual knowledge has to be subordinated to intuitive perceptions, and the heart has to be allowed full freedom in determining the ends of life without any interference from the mind. The mind has a place in the practical life, but its role begins after the heart has had its say. Spiritual understanding, okay, harmony of mind and heart implies cooperative functioning. Spiritual understanding is born of harmony between mind and heart. Harmony of mind and heart does not require the mixing up of their functions. It does not imply cross functioning, but cooperative functioning. Their functions are neither identical nor coordinate. Mind and heart must be course be balanced, but this balance cannot be secured by pitting the mind against the heart or any pitting the heart against the mind. It can be attained not through mechanical tension but through intelligent adjustment. Mind and heart may be said to be balanced when they serve their proper purpose and when they perform their respective functions without erring this way or that. It is only when they are so balanced that there can be true harmony between them. Such harmony of mind and heart is the most important condition of the integral, undivided life of spiritual understanding.
Okay, that's the end of that chapter. So, yeah, so what's the takeaway?
Okay. Just few moments ago, we came across the supremacy of heart over the mind, but eventually we ended up reading this the harmony of mind and heart. Right? So it's actually um, something that we all have to individually journey and learn. It's like what might what I would call as sweet, like tasting a laddu, and what the other person by tasting another chocolate. Even though we both will use the term in English as sweet, it would have its own differences. So even though we are meaning the same, or our experiences of that is a little bit subjective. So the balance between mind and heart, or the harmony, or the supremacy of heart over the mind, and that way nearing the divine love. So all these are sometimes feels like the the leela,
Yeah, so
divine dichotomy.
you cannot, you don't have any free passes. So you can't say Leela and get away with it. Okay. So you have to still deal with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm sorry
Absolutely.
to be the carrier of bad news. Leela, it may be, but bro, you have the journey. You have to go through this journey, and the goal is you know uh, move to God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ashok, I heard something. You
Yeah.
unmuted.
So just that, I mean, the takeaway from this chapter or the last paragraph is basically absolute teamwork between the mind and heart.
With the recognition that the mind has a role. The mind has a role. There's no doubt
The
about
mind
it.
has a
Because
role,
without,
and
yes,
and and the supremacy of the heart is, which is also there.
perfect, perfect. Good summary.
Can I can I say something here?
Yes.
Sure, of course.
Uh, so I'll tell you something about history that I read in the life history of Kabir. And Kabir said this: when the first man came, Shiva and Manu, whatever, they have children and procreation, and many people were there. So for all these children, what they were telling was, uh, be spiritual, it's an illusion you're going through. Love God is the only way to get out of this. Be loving God will be a lot more fun than whatever you're experiencing. So all these kids, offspring of Shiva and everybody, they were following that. And as a result, what was happening at that time was everyone was getting liberation or God realization at that time. And then the avatar at that time, God, whatever, whoever, thought, oh, this is not what I want. I want people to experience this illusion for a longer period of time than immediately getting born and getting immediate liberation. That is when I believe all these Vedas are created. And Vedas, in a broad way, have two aspects. One aspect is spiritual aspect, and another aspect is how to live life. There are, I believe, to enjoy music, how to build a house, or how
Samaveda.
to do, yeah, all these things are there. And that is where people follow, and they thought, oh, it's described in Vedas. So that's how the end result is the whole creation started expanding their life over many lifetimes before they achieve the God state. Okay. So if we were now coming back to the point of aligning mind and the heart, now is taking much longer. If we were to live in those days, because right from the beginning, the knowledge we were getting was the spiritual knowledge. So we had no problem to align the mind and the heart at that time. But now, because we tasted all these worldly enjoyments, that's all we know. We don't know what is the enjoyment of getting God realization. Because Baba said, hey, your goal is God realization or liberation or loving God, that's what we are doing it. And mind is just a tool. All we have to do is change whatever way we were used to whatever way what is needs to be done. That's all the change we need to have. Mind is so interesting. Whatever way you train the mind, that's how it's going to be. Suppose in one lifetime you spent all the time to be a painter, in the next life you'll be a great painter next lifetime. Suppose you started playing cricket all your life, next life you'll be a great cricketer because of the practice you had. So whatever we practice now, that is what we are going to be. So whatever we are going to align harmony between the heart and the mind, that's what we have to keep trying. One day it will be in our system, and it will be an easy walk towards the liberation. There is one sloka in Bhagavad Gita that says, to cross over this Maya, Mama Maya Duratraya, to cross over this Maya, it's very, very difficult. But once you surrender to the avatar, it'll be very easy to walk through the other side of the fence. Jai Baba.
Okay. Thanks for that summary. Any other thoughts? Okay.
Yeah, I
So,
think it is also the motive from we apply our mind. Mind has to be applied. We cannot say that mind has to be only love, and as we read, it has to be balance. So the application of mind, if it stems from an act of love, that's the beauty actually. So that's what we need to reach probably. You know.
okay. So,
If I am growing food for the poor, then I
uh-huh.
have to apply my mind how to dig the earth, how to seed, how to manure, how the sunshine, how the water. So that's the application of mind. But the motive is from love, that I am creating or growing this food, for welfare of the humanity. So
So
I
Supreet,
that is one example. Yeah, that's the example which comes to my mind. So we apply our mind, but we have to see where that application of mind, the motive is from.
the
If it
intent
is to,
intent is
yeah,
coming from area of the heart, of the
yeah,
area of love. But
yes,
the nature of human existence is you need the mind to help you in actually
yeah, yeah,
doing the
yeah,
work, doing
yeah,
whatever has to be done. Yeah,
yes, yes,
very good analogy.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we are almost out of time, so I do not want to start a new chapter. So next, when we get back together, we have one task that we already have assigned. We need to find the definition of spirit and definition of matter, either from discourses or from anywhere else. So let's do that, and then let's connect back next Sunday on discourses and Saturday on Mehra.
Since we still have time, Karthik, why don't we look into the dictionary and see what spirit and matter means?
Well, I'm very skeptical of that, but happy to do it. In the sense that the problem with the dictionary approach is Baba has his own way of understanding these words, but we could start with this. Yeah, not a problem.
Or you can Google it like Meher Baba space matter.
Yeah, okay.
So, Ravi, I think you have a good point. I think we can make a, a spiritual dictionary, and you should take the lead because uh, like these terms which are coming through, and we've been discussing all this in last 3 or maybe more than 3 years when we meet face to face. But the MBA forum we have, and from that we can probably make something for people who are just joining or just come to know about this whole world. Maybe you and can take a lead and make an extract for humanity on whatever we discuss, and you can help that.
Interesting. Deflection of tasks.
Maybe it's just
We are experts in assigning jobs.
maybe
Delegation,
no,
delegation.
I just want to
Delegation.
share in this group that it's not that I'm just doing that. My
No, no, no. Even I do that. Yeah, Ashok, it's not just you.
maybe I'm running through a
It's
little
very
bit of
easy to give ideas. Yeah, I know, I know.
running through a little bit of responsibility. My mother-in-law is under bed rest for last 4 5 months. So that's the challenge I have, and I don't want to shirk my having read Baba's My Wish. I don't want to shirk my worldly responsibilities. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. So
What is
now,
that subheading? It says matter to be used, something like that. I read somewhere above matter.
Matter to be used as
Yeah,
pliable instrument. This is discourses. This is discourses chapter.
And what
Anyway,
was the
proper adjustment between the material and spiritual aspects is not secured by giving equal importance to them. It is secured. It's not secured by taking something from the material and something from the spirit. This is straight from discourses. The spirit must and ever will have an inviolable primacy over matter. The primacy is not expressed by avoiding or rejecting matter. Okay. This is discourses. Now let me go to dictionary.
Baba personally took over. How about the last pages? Does the discourses have appendix? The last page,
That's
the
94.
meanings.
Page 94 is what is spirit understanding of, which we did, I think, just now.
Yeah, that's what we read just now. Avenues of understanding. 94. Principle of conscious life, the vital principle in humans, animating the body or mediating between body and soul. So this is almost sounding like spirit. I mean, the concept of prana, right? The principle of conscious life, the vital principle in humans, animating the body or mediating between body and soul. The incorporeal part of humans, that is the non-body, the non-material part of human. That's I think this is a good definition. What is matter? Substance or substances of which any physical object consists or is composed. Physical or corporeal. Corporeal is nothing but body. Physical or body substance in general, whether solid, liquid, or gaseous, especially as distinguished from incorporeal substance such as spirit or mind, or from qualities, actions, and the like. I think the second part is a good way of understanding both matter and spirit. Anything where there is a corporeal substance, body substance, touch, feel, object, is matter. Anything which is incorporeal substance, like spirit or mind, he says, would be spirit. Again, I find that very intriguing that Vedanta classifies mind also as spirit, but then more on that on another occasion. It's not really important because let's first understand what Baba is saying about this. But I'm
Yeah,
sure Baba has put some paragraph somewhere which talks about this. Let's try to find it.
yeah. So if you come to page 83, life of the spirit in discourses.
Sure.
So there's
One
a
second.
whole lot of subtopics which are all dealing with
Uh,
life
that
of the spirit.
I think for me, Karthik, okay, you keep searching.
yeah.
Gross is very clear. Anything physical is gross actually.
Mhm.
The spirit is the feelings of love, care, service. These are the things. I mean, I think if we understand just in this simple way that the explanation, this chapter that we were giving, that's very clear.
Hmm.
Concern for others, helping people. That's the sphere of the spirit actually. I mean, for us,
As a
normal humans, I mean, that's what it applies actually. Rather than going into too much into metaphysics, which we can always do, but this is what, if we understand that, that's enough for us for the time being.
very true, very true. Correct. Okay, so on that note, we will wrap up for today, and hopefully, we will have more enlightenment on these two foundational topics. If not, of course, like we said, we have a broad understanding. But then, as ambassadors, as people who want to get into the depth of things, let's try to get some good references as well. So, with that, let
You
me
might,
wrap up.
you might find it
And
in Vedanta, I think. You might find it in Vedanta.
I want a Baba reference.
So,
So,
so Karthik, if you have time, can we read the first paragraph of this true karma?
yeah, so this we read last week. Now, this is
Oh,
the
you read. Okay, okay.
yeah. This we read last week. This is the chapter that's
I
we
think the
discussed.
first paragraph is quite
Yeah, in true.
illuminating.
Sure. You want to read?
Okay, so it says in true karma or the life of perfect action, there is proper adjustment between the material and spiritual aspects of life. In this type of life, consciousness is not fettered by mundane and material things, but at the same time, it is not allowed to run away from everyday existence. Uh, the mind is not allowed to be immersed in the material life of gnawing wants, nor is it allowed to be immersed in spiritual bliss. It is used to face and tackle the problems of life from the point of view of spiritual understanding. So basically, we can also correlate this to my wish, where he says, "Do not shirk your responsibilities, but keep at the back of the mind that the spiritual path or the spiritual aspect, obviously, the supremacy of the spirit over matter, or that you know, that is something we have to always keep. And even in the next paragraph, it says proper adjustment between the material and spiritual aspects of life is not secured by giving equal importance to them. So basically, of course, we have to balance, but we have to keep at the back of mind that ultimately the supremacy of the spirit over matter.
Agree.
I just thought I'll highlight this, or
Okay, so everybody have a great Sunday, the rest of Sunday, and rest of the weekend for you, Ravi. Siva's looking all prim and proper with his new haircut. And
oh yes,
oh, okay, this is Bangalore. Okay, Bhairamangala trip. Baba,
and
Jai Baba, Jai
I
Baba.
take now the camera, but I don't know where.